Hi, my name's Tristan and I'm the host of the Gravel Cycling Australia podcast. I was born, raised and continue to live, work and ride my bike on the lands of the Wurundjeri and the Wadawurrung people. I acknowledge the Wadawurrung people as the traditional owners of the country on which this podcast was recorded, and pay my respects to their elders past and present, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples today. The Gravel Cycling Australia podcast acknowledges that Aboriginal sovereignty has never been ceded. It was and always will be Aboriginal land.
Yeah, we are excited to announce a new event for us in Central Australia called the Shimano Gravel Muster. It's a 4-day gravel stage race through the East McDonald Ranges. Starting and finishing in Alice Springs, but we do a big loop, a full 380k course over the 4 days heading east. With, in my mind, the highlights, a couple of nights staying at outback cattle stations. The landscape is just breathtaking. And then sharing it with friends and a can around the campfire each night, under 100 million stars in the centre of the country. Oh, we're so enthusiastic about it.
Welcome to the Gravel Cycling Australia podcast. Gravel cycling in Australia is booming. From racing to bikepacking to simply getting off the beaten track and exploring the back roads and trails of our outstanding natural landscapes. This accessible subculture is all about community, adventure, and discovering or rediscovering the joy of life on two wheels. Join us as we celebrate Australia's gravel cycling scene and discover the locations, explore the events, and meet the people at the heart of the sport. Happy New Year and welcome back to the first episode of 2024 for the Gravel Cycling Australia podcast. Hope you all had a great break over Christmas and New Year. Got some good gravel riding in. I certainly did. Spent a few weeks before Christmas at the Surf Coast. Yeah, and had some great riding around Anglesea and Aireys Inlet there. Discovering some new tracks I hadn't found before, and yeah, just enjoying the spirit of exploration that we all love about gravel riding. Really excited to be back for this year, and as we head into the second year of this podcast, I'm really keen to continue to grow and bring new people on board and continue to share really exciting stories from the gravel scene, which is only going from strength to strength. I mean, we're seeing more and more events popping up and more people getting involved. So really excited to see where we can take this podcast in 2024. So yeah, just wanted to take the opportunity to thank you all for your support during our first year in 2023 and looking forward to moving forward with you all this year. It's January now and the Tour Down Under is underway over in Adelaide, and this year we've got a really exciting addition to that program. Canyon SRAM rider Tiffany Cromwell and her partner, Formula One driver Valtteri Bottas, have brought the SBT gravel brand to Australia in the form of Rattle Gravel. So that'll be on next week on the 19th of January, and it's seems to be attracting some of Australia's biggest hitters in the gravel scene. Just having a look at the start list, it's a who's who of Australian gravel. We've got Ella Bloor, Cassia Boglio, Brodie Chapman, Peter Mullins, Matilda Reynolds all lining up on the women's side. And on the men's side, super strong as well. We've got some of the biggest names in gravel cycling, starting with ex-World Tour pro Nathan Haas, Australian gravel champion Connor Sens. We've got some lifetime Grand Prix athletes in there, including Tasman Nankervis. Some big names as well, Jack Aitken, Adam Blazovic, you name it. The biggest gravel riders in the country will be there in Adelaide to fight it out for the inaugural Rattle Gravel title. That title includes a $10,000 Australia Pro Prize purse, which must be close to the biggest prize money pool for any gravel race in the country. So really excited to see some money getting put behind gravel racing. So the premier course there is a 106-kilometre route with 2,240 metres of climbing around the beautiful Adelaide Hills, starting and finishing in McLaren Flat. So best of luck to everyone taking part, and it will be really interesting to see how that event goes in its inaugural year. In terms of other events coming up, just wanted to give a shout out to the Ballarat Cycle Classic. They have a number of cycling events occurring over the 17th and 18th of February, including some gravel grind events. So they have a 30-kilometre, 47k and a 66k ride there. And the great thing about this particular event is that all proceeds go to the Fiona Elsie Cancer Research Institute. So if you're keen for a nice day out in the Creswick Forest, this is definitely one to get involved with. And if you want to get a taste for what some of that Creswick Forest riding is like, I recommend you follow GP Lama on Instagram or Strava. And he's often posting his rides through there. And it looks like some really nice riding. Bicycle Network are also branching out into gravel a bit more, and they've got their Gravel Macedon event coming up in March. So the pre-entries close for that one on the 21st of January. We might take another look at that event down the track. All right, let's get on to today's episode, and really, really excited to bring you some breaking news effectively on the Gravel Cycling Australia podcast. This is sort of our first exclusive scoop. So today marks the launch of the Shimano Gravel Muster. So this is going to be Australia's first ever gravel stage race, as presented by Rapid Ascent, who bring you the Otway Odyssey mountain bike race and the Great Otway Gravel Grind, and now they're going to be taking us out into the outback for a stage race around the middle of this beautiful country. So I caught up with Rapid Ascent General Manager Sam Maffett, and we caught up for a ride while I was down on the surf coast just before Christmas. He's an Anglesea local, and we headed out the bike and had a chat. But before we got to the Gravel Muster, we had a chat about the other stuff that Sam's been up to with Rapid Ascent, and just get his take on the local gravel scene down on the surf coast. A bit of chat and a bit of insight into how the sausage gets made of a podcast as well. So hope you enjoy this one. Something a bit different. Recording a podcast episode on the back of a bike as we were cycling around some hills definitely presented some technical challenges. So this might not be the studio quality audio you might be used to on podcasts, but really exciting content and a really great chat with Sam riding around his local roads down at Anglesea. So with that, let's head out to the road to the surf coast and catch up with Sam.
Welcome back to the Gravel Cycling Australia podcast. Another beautiful morning here on the surf coast. Coming to you from the road this morning. Going to be catching up with a local from these areas, Sam Maffett, who is a friend of the podcast and we had on for our very first guest almost 12 months ago when we were talking about the Great Otway Gravel Grind. So Sam is the managing director and co-owner of Rapid Ascent Event Management. So they run the Great Otway Gravel Grind and the associated Otway Odyssey mountain bike race. So Sam's a friend of the pod, and just thought it was a good opportunity to go for a ride with him this morning to hear what he's been up to and sort of get his take on the local area here and see what sort of exciting things might be in the pipeline for Rapid Ascent. He's given me a bit of a background, sort of behind the scenes look at what is coming up, and I've got to say it's pretty exciting for the gravel race scene here in Australia. So excited to catch up with Sam this morning and get his take on the local area and see what Rapid Ascent are all about in 2024. I have just realised I've rolled out of the house without my bottles this morning. That is a rookie error if ever there is one. Hopefully Sam doesn't have too many hills in store for us today. Might be a bit parched by the time I get home. So here is Sam Maffett from Rapid Ascent, friend of the pod. First interviewee we had almost 12 months ago now, so welcome back, Sam. Yes, it's great to be back and on a bike this time, Tristan. So you've got us talking going uphill, so it might be a bit of hard work.
Yeah, this is, you picked the route, so we'll blame you for that one. Heading up Bamber Road here at the back of Aries Inlet. It's a good little climb. Don't know the stats exactly, I think it's about 4 or 5 Ks, 5-6%. Real stepped. Going through one of the steeper sections now. So you ride the gravel land here a bit, Sam?
Yeah, I ride the gravel a lot around here, especially in winter when gravel's in great condition and there's no traffic any time of year really, but winter's good. As I live at Anglesea, there's a real network of trails that extends out to the west from here, so you can just keep going and going and going as long as the amount of time you've got to be on your bike.
So you started running through in Anglesea?
Yeah. Look, I do a lot of running, although I've been injured for the last 18 months, more or less, but starting to get going again now. And, as you understand, exercising with others is always a lot easier and more motivating and whatever. So, just sort of started a run group this is on the second week yesterday.
easier to get out of bed for the alarm.
It is. It
when
is.
you know there's people waiting for
Yeah.
you, isn't there?
And tried to design it so that, you know, runners of any ability to come can come. So it's just mates. It's not like it's, you know, 35 people or anything. So we do like a bit of a jog warm up to start with, and then a session of intervals or hill repeats or something like that. So yeah, it probably being with others makes you go a bit harder than you would normally. And so my calves are really sore. And yes, having not done much speed work for a while, after going a bit fast out of the gate on Tuesday, my like legs are sore, calves are sore, just DOMs, but it'll improve.
I realised how unfit I was the other day when I was packing the car to come down here, lifting all the luggage, getting it all up in the roof box. Got down here the next day, I'm like, geez, I'm a bit sore.
Oh, really?
Just from like carrying all the stuff.
Yeah, right.
I think having a baby is not good for you.
Yeah. What's your sort of riding routine? We know weekly. Have you got a regular group ride or something?
No, I don't really. I just get out when I can. So.
Yeah. I think I remember talking to you, it was probably almost a year ago we had a chat, I think.
Yeah, it was January. Yeah,
January, okay. Anyway, I remember telling you about a 6-day bike trip we'd just done with some mates down the Tassie Trail.
Oh, yeah?
Anyway, it's a bit of an annual trip, more or less the first week of December. So, yeah, we just went and did a 4-day bikepacking trip just through northeast Victoria. Oh, look, we caught the train to Wangaratta and then rode from Wangaratta to Beechworth, and which is about 50 k's. And then we dropped our gravel bikes at Beechworth and rented some e-bikes and did a lap of the Epic Trail, which is like a mountain bike 60k circuit, which was awesome, good fun.
How do you find the e-bikes?
Oh, it's probably on the second or third time I've ridden one. Oh, they're a blast. They're a lot of fun. They make going uphill, you know, almost as much fun as going down.
I've sort of wondered, yeah, like an e-mountain bike would be pretty good around here too.
Yeah, I reckon you need bigger hills. I mean, here we are riding uphill saying that, but like if I lived at Bright, I reckon I'd have one because all the riding's either straight up or straight down. And but around here, or certainly, you know, between Anglesea and Torquay, where there's a lot of trail and stuff, it's all pretty flat. I'm still pretty fit. I don't need to own one, but as a blast, especially with mates on a big loop, it was a lot of fun. Then day 2, we rode from Beechworth to Mansfield, which is about 110, I think. Sort of via a few sort of backcountry routes and roads. So got a heavy shower of rain on top of us and a thunderstorm on the top of a hill. It was interesting.
Part of the adventure.
Exactly. Then went Mansfield to Woods Point, which is sort of out behind Warburton there. That was cool. That was a long one, 130, I think. Stopped for a swim in the river a couple of times. And then from Woods Point Road to Lilydale through Warburton and caught the train home. So yeah, it was great 4 days.
Great trip.
Yeah. When we do our bike packing, I change my cassette and have a bigger chain ring. I'm noticing not having the bigger ring right now.
Yeah, section always gets me.
I've got a 42.
It's summer now, so the gravel gets a bit corrugated around here. I was coming down here the other day and it's very bumpy at the top. So if you hear a bit of rattling, that's what that is. So you look like you've had a pretty busy year. You've been travelling around the country.
Yeah, Rapid Ascent. Yeah, we have had a busy year. Mixture of riding and running races. Yeah, no, it's obviously we're well and truly post-COVID now, but you know, I guess cost of living pressures and other things have an influence on, you know, people's uptake of events. But no, entries are still really strong, and our next event, we've got a bit of a gap now, and our next event is the Otway Odyssey and the Great Otway Gravel Grind in February. So yeah, it's, you know, a bit of downtime now, but also preparing for that event as our first one for 2024.
Hit another pinch, so we'll wait till we get to the top, I think.
Yeah. I think this is the steepest part, isn't it, this one?
Yeah. And there's corrugations around the corner up there.
Oh, right.
Always make it hard. So you got the GOG coming up again in Feb. So if any gravel riders are keen for a great day out, can certainly attest to that. A lot of climbing. I think this is probably good training. How are the numbers looking for this year, Sam?
Yeah, really strong. Thanks, Tristan. Yeah, look, as you know, it's a great course. I guess the event's been around for a long time now in the history of sort of gravel. And, we look forward to it this year. And probably, the course is pretty characteristic of the riding around the Otways with some long climbs and long descents. And being a bit further south than where we are now, the forest, it gets a bit more rain, so the trees are a lot taller, big sort of grass trees and fern trees lining the side of the road. Whilst it's probably only 60 k's as the crow flies from where we are, the vegetation is quite different.
Yeah, it's really different, isn't it?
I really enjoy that bit of diversity through the Otways actually for, how the vegetation changes and I guess the views and things. So, but the GOG's coming up. Rider numbers are looking strong. Looking forward to it again. We've not changed the course, since we started really, and seems to work well. Has those couple of time-out points along it, the water point at the top, and then along the Great Ocean Road when you're on the asphalt down there for about 10 k's. So, they're certainly looking forward to it.
Yeah, it is great. If you're keen to learn a bit more, Sam and I did a big deep dive on it in episode 1, so head back in the files. And then when I went down to the event last year, I recorded an episode and chatted to people on the ground, which is, really good. So that's, I think, episode 4. So head back and have a listen. Have you got any big name confirmed starters this year?
Oh, look, I've not actually looked down the list as yet, Tristan. Yeah, look, I'd like to think so. It's building a good reputation for the quick riders at the front who enjoy the sort of strategy of it with the time-out zones and opportunity to regroup and probably even to a fair extent ride socially. Certainly see photos of them, enjoying a latte together halfway through the race.
Yeah.
I think that's just so cool that, gravel can be competitive, but it can also be, is also social, no matter how fast you ride, depending on the format. So, welcome them back, and we'll see if Tasman can hold on to his crown.
Well, going to have a chat to Tim Cutler, who recently took out the Dirty Warnie with a pretty impressive solo attack from the gun.
Yes.
We'll see if we can get him down too.
Yeah.
He's a local boy.
Yes.
From Portland.
Yep. Yeah, no, very impressive ride in the headwind of the Dirty Warnie out there by himself. So
unbelievable.
The guy, I've not met him personally, I don't believe, but he must have legs like tree trunks, doesn't he?
Yeah, big feature for Tim, I think. Lovely, unassuming guy from my interactions with him as well.
Oh, really?
Just very humble. Speaking of the Otways, you got another exciting event happening in a few months?
Yeah, we do. Look, rather than being an event, it's more of a guided ride, really, a multi-day gravel flashback through the Otways, which is a bit of an expansion for Rapid Ascent. So we've been running races and events for 17 or 18 years now, and everything's always had a watch attached to it, I guess. Being a race, whether people compete or not, up to them. But we've sort of diversified a bit and launched a brand called the Rapid Ascent Journeys, where we're running basically adventure tours or trips through the wilderness in sort of sporting disciplines. And our first one is a 6-day tour called the Great Ocean Road Gravel Tour. So in the Great Ocean Road region, but most of it on gravel, that's for sure. And look, the distances each day vary between 60 and 110 k's or so. Starting and finishing at Anglesea, we'll do a big loop, staying at some nice accommodation down near Apollo Bay the first night, and down near Joanna for the nights 3 and 4, and looping back around. So look, it'd be really nice to ride with people, ourselves on the bike as well, and sharing what knowledge we have, I guess, and learning from each other and just having a good old time with, new friends on these beautiful gravel roads.
I think a lot of people have heard about how good the Otway riding is, but I think there's definitely a little bit of a barrier to exploring new areas on a gravel bike. Like, if you're not familiar with the area, You can look on a map and sort of get a sense for where the gravel roads are, but I can certainly attest, like around here and in the Otways, it's pretty easy to head down a track and sort of end up getting pretty stuck. Like, it can look good at the trailhead, but then you get 10 k's down and you sort of can't go any further. So I think having that sort of local knowledge, local guide is pretty critical to getting out to a new spot, especially if you haven't got like a local to go with.
Yeah, look, that's certainly true. There's a lot of tracks that just dissolve into wheel ruts and, you know, and vegetation as they get overgrown. We're certainly avoiding those. And look, also trying to put to the market or put to people that, well, there's, you know, multi-day road tours and trips as a holiday are, you know, quite commonplace, especially over in Europe. You know, people link it with the Tour de France and things like that. But why not gravel, and why not in our own world-class locations and destinations, as I said, such as the Otways, or, you know, plenty of other beautiful areas in the country as well. So yeah, I guess we're sort of seeing it as similar to, you know, packing your bike up and heading over to France to ride the major climbs and staying in nice accommodation. Well, let's pack your bike up and come here to the Otways, ride, you know, some nice climbs, I guess, and some nice scenery on gravel, you know, here in our own backyard, and stay in some nice accommodation here. That's some friends who came out and hitting on this to get the KOM.
Oh, really?
And also do like not an FTP test, but a, you know, max heart rate, max effort test.
Oh, it's a tough one.
So I think they're just under 20 minutes for the segment. Don't know how long we've been riding.
Yeah, probably about 30 already.
A lot longer than 20 minutes.
Yeah, there's always some fast times up here. It's kind of funny, like as I said before, I've been driving along this road my whole life. Like, I think I've said before, my parents have a place at Bamburgh, and lucky enough to have a little spot on the coast here. So this road links to two places, and yeah, I've certainly been in the car down here so many times throughout my life. And it's only the last few years I've discovered how good it can be on a bike too.
Yeah, it's certainly true. Whether it's the advent of gravel bikes or the opening of our minds to riding gravel on whatever bike you got, mountain bike or whatever, certainly, you know, multiplies the cycling options. So
you're running an Aspero there, Sam?
Yeah, no, I got a Sevilla Aspero here. I've had it for maybe 3 years now, I think. 2x. I really like the two chain rings on the front. Yeah, GRX 800, I think. Still with cables. Nothing wrong with cables, I reckon. Haven't got anything too fancy. And look, I've got a different set of wheels for it as well. So I ride on the road as well.
Yeah, it's pretty stiff, yeah?
Yeah.
Sort of doubles as a road.
Yeah, that's right.
How's it go on these corrugations? Rattle you up a bit?
Well, I'm a lightweight fella,
yeah.
So you just sort of bounce across the top of them. But I've not ridden a lot of other gravel bikes, especially off-road or on terrain, so must admit I've got a little comparison, really.
Yeah.
How's the titanium Simpatico soaking it up?
Oh, like it's a beautiful bike, that's for sure. It's 45mm tyres on this. Sort of does the trick. Tubeless, obviously, drop the pressure. Soaks it up pretty well. It's got a pretty narrow bar. They spec it with a 40, which for gravel is, I quite like it. Like you do get a bit more aero position for the faster sections. Sort of used to a 44 on my Canyon Grail, and yeah, it's a beautiful ride, really sporty. Obviously the titanium's pretty good mix for sort of harsh riding conditions. Very durable. Riding around here this summer, I have become a little bit curious about front suspension. I wonder if that's, I've sort of heard a lot about the pros and cons. It'd be good to soak up these little bumps, but I'm a little bit cautious about the extra weight and the just the lack of power transfer that it'll result in.
Yeah, a bit interesting to try, see what the handling's, how they handle on non-corrugated sections as well, whether it feels a bit soft and squishy there.
The other reason I'm a little bit suspension curious is just some of the other, like we're on one of the main roads here, but there are a lot of little fire access tracks around here that can get pretty rutted, pretty rocky. They're good fun to push on the gravel bike, but there's certainly some, well, maybe for me, with my lack of off-road handling, but certainly some hiker bike sections. So I wonder if I could sort of power through them with a bit of suspension, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I would have thought your big tyres don't know, I'm not sure. I'm pretty happy on fully rigid at the moment, but other than this bit.
Yeah.
Jesus. I enjoyed listening to your podcast with Tasman.
Yeah.
Curtis.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, and then, talking about the Lifetime series and Unbound. So it was not long after that I watched the Unbound, YouTube video they made on it, and they certainly didn't capture or showcase the mud to anywhere near the extent that Tasman talked it up. So either he's, gone all soft and roady and doesn't like it off-road, or they didn't have a camera there.
No, he's great value, Taz, and he recently got announced he'll be heading back to do the Lifetime again next year, which is exciting for him.
Yeah.
Along with Trekkie Johnson.
Yeah.
And Peter Mullins is in there now
Yeah, I've
too.
heard Peter Mullins is heading over USA.
All right, nearly at the top of this climb. A nice flowing descent from there. Tarmac. For about 25 metres.
And you've been enjoying doing the podcast?
Yeah, really loved it. It's,
How many episodes have you done now?
what's that?
How many episodes have you done now? So I cut you off. But...
13 published.
Okay, yep.
Definitely been inconsistent. Like, sometimes life just gets in the way for a little bit. And,
Yeah.
Full-time job and a baby.
Yeah.
People seem to be enjoying it. Like, it's got probably a niche following still, but
Yeah.
people are into get a lot of engagement with it.
Excellent. Yeah, we dabbled in a podcast a few years ago, pre-COVID, that we had a colleague, employee who, wanted to pursue the medium and he did some good interviews. He did about one a month for 12 months, 18 months.
I think there's a lot of potential for it. Always a bit cautious of the roos coming down these sections at this time of day.
Oh, I nearly collected one on the way to see you. There was one on both sides. I thought that one for sure was going to jump over the other, and it did. And you find it hard to attract a guest or to brainstorm who to speak to next, or you're building your knowledge and connections in all that as well.
Yeah, it's I certainly always seem to have a list of people to talk to. I feel bad because I've approached a few people and said I'd love to have you on, and they haven't followed up because
Yeah, right.
haven't quite got to them yet, but they're still
Sure.
on the list. So,
Yeah, sure.
it's certainly no shortage of content.
I was very impressed with that, the one we did, and your preparation beforehand, and you typed out all your notes and what have you. Do you still go to the same extent, or are you a bit more freestyle?
I was saying to Brandon from Simpatico the other day, I interviewed him, and I've certainly relaxed a bit.
Yeah,
You sort of relax into it, learn
Yeah.
how to approach it.
yeah,
Becomes a bit more conversational if you're not too stilted, I think.
yeah. Oh, I was impressed actually. I commented to a few people that, you had all your questions written out when we met, but listening, you wouldn't have known that you were, reading or, acknowledging the page in front of you. You've had a good voice for it, so.
All those drama plays at high school, I think.
I really,
I was certainly more of a thespian than an athlete when I was at school.
your background comes out, okay.
Yeah, this area is a real hub for cycling though, isn't it? Like, not only got these great trails, but a real history in brands around the Geelong,
Yeah, true, yep.
Geelong area. Bourne, based down here. Partington obviously had the history with the 2010 World Championships, and now Cadell's race and the...
Yeah, it'd be good to see Cadell's ride back again.
Yeah, and they've added a few more events I
Yeah.
think, to the week.
Yeah,
It's
there's
pretty exciting.
a weekday ride from Lorne. Let's checking that out. It's nowhere near as corrugated.
Nice. It's much nicer, isn't it?
It does grow rocks, this road, though. I like those nice wide tyres you've got.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
I was running 40s on my Canyon Grail, and around here I felt a little bit underbiked on 40s, but yeah, these 40, I think they're 44, but they probably blow up around 45. Yeah, it's amazing that little extra difference.
Really? 'Cause, I mean, these are I think these are a 40, and I normally have a Gravel King as a 38. I've not ridden anything wider, but Yeah, that 5 mil you really noticed, you reckon?
I really noticed it, yeah.
That would be my one downside of the, well, whatever. One thing I wish the Aspero had was wider wheel clearance.
Yeah, it's definitely something I'm keeping in mind with my my next purchase.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Grail, the max was that 42, which I think is about the same as the
Sure.
Aspero, right?
And dare I ask how badly damaged was it?
Oh, the frame was a write-off because it was aluminium,
Yeah.
and where it was clamped to the toolay rack, it just like busted through and had a huge dent in the down there.
Shit. Really? Yeah, this is where I nearly got Skippy halfway down this road, this descent here. Oh, here they are, same too.
So have you got plans for, you're doing the Otway tour in March, you got plans for other bikepacking sort of events?
Not at this stage, no. Well, yes and no. Nothing laid down, but certainly plenty of ideas of places we could go and take other people with us. So, you know, I'd love to go to far north Queensland, out of Cairns into the Daintree, through to Cooktown and Tablelands and things there. I reckon you'd
Is there good gravel up there?
think you better string together a good ride up there. I believe so. Yeah, look, there was a friend of ours who I rode with just on the weekend who had been up there not that long ago with his mates and did a loop. They had a bit of asphalt to get home. And it's probably pretty seasonal, the road condition up there. So you go at the right time of year and you'd expect to have decent conditions, I think. Tasmania, you know, untapped paradise down there of any discipline or adventure. So, you know, maybe we'll expand and do a trail running tour, ticking off some peaks of Tassie or something similar. So, yeah, we'll see where the concept goes.
I think there's a big future in bikepacking adventure. We've certainly got the places to go, haven't we?
Yeah, yeah.
So a really exciting development you were just telling me about yesterday. Rapid Ascent putting on, is this Australia's first gravel stage race?
Well, that's what we're calling it. Please let us know if we're wrong. But yeah, we are excited to announce, and maybe by the time this goes to air in mid-January, a new event for us in Central Australia called the Shimano Gravel Muster. It's a 4-day gravel stage race through the East McDonald Ranges. Look, starting and finishing at Alice Springs, but we do a big loop, a full 380k course over the 4 days, heading east. With, in my mind, the highlights, a couple of nights staying at outback cattle stations that are set up for accommodation and tours. So yes, look, it's designed as an all-inclusive event. So accommodation, meals, everything are all included in the entry fee, literally because there's nowhere else to go. When you're out there, and we'll take everyone's bags and what have you, and you know, escort you along the route. And look, we're going to conduct it in a similar format to our Great Otway Gravel Grind with timed and untimed segments. You know, I just think the social aspect of gravel is so important and so integral to what makes me enjoy it so much. So yeah, there'll be maybe slightly more than half as times, racing stages, probably 2 stages a day, and yeah, then slightly less than half as untimed or social liaisons and cruises to bring people back together.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, especially if you're making a trip of it. You don't want to be out on your own the whole time, do you? If you can go with your mates, you can still have a race. And
yeah, look, certainly doing a group environment with an event, I think definitely adds a lot of safety aspects to your experience out on the roads. And it is, you know, as it says on the brochure, true outback. It is some sections riding long, straight, you know, into a shimmering horizon and beyond, and then other sections, you know, weaving through some of the ridge lines of the ranges and through some of the gaps in slightly more undulating terrain. But yeah, the landscape is just breathtaking. It's very subtle changes from as you're riding your bike along, but across the whole course, the whole event, yeah, the mix of terrain of I guess all rugged outback terrain will be, you know, really quite exceptional. and then sharing it with your stories with your friends and a can around the campfire each night. Under 100 million stars in the centre of the country. Oh, we're so enthusiastic about it. And
yeah, this sounds like a pretty special event, I reckon. So, location-wise, we're talking, a couple of hours west of Alice Springs, is that?
Well, the event's designed to start and finish in Alice Springs, so the first stage is just a loop, or first day is just a loop around Alice Springs itself. So you'll stay in Alice Springs in a hotel or wherever you decide the first night, and then we head east. So, well, we start heading north, sections along the Stewart Highway, which will be facilitated for safety, and then we're heading east, staying at Hale River Station and then Ross River Stations as a big loop back to Alice Springs, finishing at the brewery. Oh, we're on to the champagne now, Tristan.
Oh, yeah, beautiful here. Yeah, I think all good rides, depending on the time of day, have to finish at either a cafe or a brewery, right?
That's right.
Or maybe not, depending on time of day, depending on your attitude.
Yeah, so we're grateful for Shimano coming on board as a sponsor. They've already confirmed about 6 riders coming, the likes of which are most likely Richie Port and Ella Bloor will be joining us out for the circuit as well. So, to have them on board and, dare I say, show them the landscape as much as everybody else. And opportunity to engage in that friendly social environment, I think is going to add another whole level to it. So, really excited to have them out there as well.
They might be keen to show off a new JRX Di2 group set or something like that by then.
I think there's something like that in the winds, actually.
In the winds? No, it's good to see brands getting behind the gravel scene. It's, I think they recognise it. We had Matilda Reynolds the other day telling us, even back when she was working at Specialised, they really saw the whole future of cycling and gravel. So.
Yeah, I mean, all in. In some ways, you'd say maybe a little late to get on board, although technology takes a while to evolve, or products to create. And certainly the gravel event scene over east, I think, is getting busier and busier. So, I think the prospects for gravel for the long term, not just the short term, are very positive.
So a few climbs out in the out back there on the race course, or is it mostly flat?
No, mostly flat. Slight undulations on some days, but no, you won't need a big gear range, put it that way.
Oh, that'll be music to a lot of ears, I think. You sent me a little video of some of the scenery yesterday. It's we'll pop that down in the show notes, and it just looks absolutely stunning. Like absolute quintessential Aussie outback experience. I've never been out there, but definitely keen to, and I think doing it on a gravel bike seems like the best option. Always the best way to see this country.
Yeah, look, road conditions are important out there, and we've scouted the roads and spoken to the locals and trying to determine what they're quite seasonal as well. And they're graded also at various times throughout the year, but the race is, I think, between the 22nd and the 25th of August. And road conditions look very, very good. Of course, some sections of corrugations, but in the most part, when we scouted the course at the exact same time, definitely smooth enough. It's the centre of the country. You've got to expect some toughness and roughness out there. That's part of our culture, part of our landscape, but certainly rideable on a standard bike. Standard wheel size, tyre sizes. Doesn't have to be max or super fats or anything like that. I was riding my Aspero with my 40mm tyres, and that was smooth enough. And then climatically, that time of year, Central Australia is just at its best. Low 20-degree temperatures, light breezes to keep the flies away. Cool nights makes for good sleeping and things. So, the weather that time of year is just magnificent for being on your bike or running or doing whatever you want in the great outdoors.
Last year when we caught up, you gave me a little teaser. You said you were working on something multi-day interstate, and I've been thinking about it all year, wondering what you got up your sleeve.
There you go, you're the first to know.
There you go, exclusive scoops on the Gravel Cycling Australia podcast. Just rolling back in Dairies Inlet now. Well, Sam, thanks for the ride. It's been a great morning out, another stunning morning down here on the surf coast. Beautiful conditions for it, not too hot, nice sea breeze.
Yeah, look, roads not at their best at the moment. Certainly this end of the Otways, lower down around Skeens Creek and Forest and things, being a bit moister at stayed smoother there for a lot longer, but yeah, we've had a nice ride. Thanks.
All right, and yeah, excited to try and get down to the GOG again this year and see how your other exciting new adventures turn out. And yeah, certainly keen to follow along on this Shimano Gravel Muster. I think this is a really exciting new development for the gravel scene here in Australia, and still embracing the community aspect while giving people an opportunity to really test themselves against the clock. So I think another example of that great gravel culture that we have, where there's something for everyone in these events. So yeah, very keen to see how that goes.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely stay in touch, Tris. It'll be great to see you up here and to experience this place. So yeah, happy riding.
It was really great to catch up with Sam. I really enjoyed our ride, and yeah, he's a really great bloke. And I actually owe a bit to Sam. He's one of the reasons this podcast actually got off the ground. He was one of the first people I reached out to as a potential guest, and yeah, he was really keen and really encouraging, and yeah, pushed me harder than probably I was pushing myself to start this podcast. So yeah, really wanted to thank Sam for that faith that he showed in our project here. So I'm definitely going to try and get down to the GOG in a couple of weeks, down in Forest in February, so it would be great to see as many of you there as possible. I'm working on trying to get some Gravel Cycling Australia t-shirts done, so hopefully I'll be a bit more recognisable to people, and yeah, you can come up and say hi. I'd love to chat and yeah, meet some of the people who are following along the show. The Great Ocean Road Gravel Tour is on, as we discussed there, in March, so I'll pop a link to that in the show notes. And yeah, if you're keen to explore the Otway Gravel and just haven't sort of had the chance or have been a little bit trepidatious about where exactly to go, then this is a really great option for people looking for a real adventurous holiday. And finally, this Shimano Gravel Muster, look, get on the website. I'll pop the link down there in the show notes. The images that they have produced are absolutely stunning, and this is going to be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get out into the heart of our country, and if this isn't true Australian gravel riding, I don't know what is. And yeah, I think this is going to be absolutely superb. I'm going to do what I can to get up there. I think it's going to be a great few days, and yeah, full kudos to Rapid Ascent. You know, if we're keen to grow our scene here, then we've got to get behind events like this. So entries are now open. Jump online and yeah, sign up. Thanks very much for listening today. If you're keen to follow along, as always, give us a follow on Instagram or reach out via email at thegravelcyclingpodcast@gmail.com. Once again, best of luck to everyone taking part in Rattle Gravel on Friday. Really excited to see how that goes, and I think that's another really exciting event for our gravel cycling scene. So that's it for today. We'll catch you next time on the Gravel Cycling Australia podcast, where we're going to be catching up with some Pataco bikes to hear about this brand new titanium bike business that's based here in Melbourne and really focusing on producing real high-end quality gravel bikes. So yeah, looking forward to that. And with that, we'll see you next time.